So take the drum, if you have one, put it on, if you're right-handed, your left knee, with the bell, the open part, facing away from your body. If you're left-handed, put the drum on your right knee with the bell facing away from your body to the right. And then just roll that drum back towards yourself until it comes into contact with your shoulder and is up against your rib cage a little bit. Can you see that on the screen? That's going to be your natural start point. Your point of contact with the drum will be your rib cage at the left and the sort of upper part of your arm. And later, as we start working with the interior of the drum and the tone of the drum, you may find that instead of this part of your arm, you're connecting with part of your forearm. But no matter how you connect on the outside of the drum, the inside of the drum should stay sort of up against your rib cage in a comfortable enough manner that when you push the drum a little bit from the back side, it doesn't move a lot. It doesn't go like this. It's up against your rib cage just enough to be sort of firmly held. Has everyone got that? Looks like it? Okay. Now you have your grip on your tipper and you have your drum. That shaking downstroke that we were doing earlier, I want you to make one clean downstroke on your drum head. Down. Right? Looks like I've got you. So the difference is you want to work on making sure you don't scratch across the drum head. You don't want to drag the tipper across the end. You want to make a clean connection. And what that means is the stick has to hit the drum and arc very slightly away. I'm exaggerating to show you what it does. It makes a little arc as you throw your hand down, but I don't want you to over-exaggerate that bit at the end. Anyway, that makes a very clean downstroke. So let's do a couple of clean downstrokes together, just to make sure you have a solid tone. Notice it's not doing this, right? I'm not scratching. I'm going down, 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 down. Okay, most of you have got it. Couple things to watch out for. I want you not to start with the drumstick up here. I see a lot of perpendicular drumsticks, and I don't want perpendicular or like this. I want you to hold it so that the bottom end kind of points down and use that as your starting point. The bottom end, that's why I call it the bottom end of the stick, should never get higher than the top of the stick. So when you're making those downstrokes, yes, I see immediate corrections on the screen and that looks good. Okay, so I know that feels a little weird at first, but it will actually feel more natural as we go along. Now I'm going to ask you to do something very unnatural, because we don't usually do this in isolation, but I want you to take the same idea and make one upstroke. And in order to do that, since you're working against gravity, you literally have to turn your hand to make the up. One very clean upstroke. I see them. And even there, when you get to the top, I don't want your stick to be above your pivot point. It should still stop a little short, still be down, right? Okay, I see some pretty good strokes. And again, you want to do clean strokes, up, down, not dragging. So that'll be the first thing you'll work on, in addition to a metronome, for example, is that clean sound. So I'm going to teach you today reels and jigs. If you're playing along with any music, I'm using those terms because I predominantly play with Irish and Scottish music, but you can play with old-time music, you can play with French-Canadian music, you can play with the Arabic music we were just listening to, you can play this drum in any tradition. It's a talking drum, you know? It has a voice that pitches, and the only limitation, so to speak, is that we don't have two sticks in our hands, so we can't do polyrhythms easily. That's the one limitation I will say of the Irish drum, is there's no easy way to do polyrhythms, but we can pretend to do polyrhythms by using the other end of our stick to do what's called a rolled triplet, and I will teach you that tomorrow. But but today we're going to start with reels and jigs. I'll use those terms. So a reel is a rhythmic pattern in 4/4. Raise your hand if you already play reels or you know what reels are, yeah? Okay, there's a couple of you. When you go to the session to hear Irish music in the pub and people are playing, mostly we hear reels in 4/4. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Or jigs, which I picked up from someone a long time ago, the mnemonic rashers and sausages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because they run in 6/8. So those are the ones you'll hear the most, and that's what we're going to learn today. So I'm going to give you 4 reel rhythms to connect and use however it feels right, and 4 jig patterns. And then tomorrow we'll do a very quick review of that, and we'll add some other rhythms to your toolkit. So that's the roadmap for where we're going. So the very basic motor stroke for a reel, we did that downstroke and that upstroke. A motor rhythm for 4/4 is down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Try that. Now right now, I'm not doing anything with the back of the skin, the back of the tone of the drum. I'm just having you go up and down, right? Looks good. Everyone looks relaxed. I see a lot of good motion. To emphasize the 1 in a drum in this pattern, I want you to, so right now we're working with the skin completely open at the back, but I want you to sort of, if you have a drum rather than a piece of paper, I want you to seat your hand, sort of put the rim on this part of your thumb and sort of let it rest up there. Don't know if I can get close enough to make this happen. Let it rest at the top, but keep it open. So when you strike the drum, it rings with no muting. And then I want you to turn your hand so it's on the skin and hit the drum as well. And it's a muted sound, right? So we're going to work with the downstroke and the upstroke with an open and a muted drum to emphasize the 1 and the 4 in the reel rhythm that we were working on. So it sounds, I'll play it from the front first so you can play along with the regular rhythm, and then I'll turn to show you what I'm doing with my hand, all right? So we're gonna do down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, but to emphasize one part of it, we're going to mostly play it muted, do 4 with the mute on, 4 open, 4 muted, 4 open, 4 muted, and already you have 2 different sounds with the drum, right? To make the rhythmic pattern, we're going to leave it mostly muted and only open up that big bass note to emphasize the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open, mute, mute, mute. Open, mute, mute, mute. Open, mute, mute, mute. Looks pretty good on the screen. How's it sounding to you? Oh yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a basic 4, which you can play against any reel, but it will drive people in the session mad if that's all you do for the whole time. So we're going to give you a couple of other options, and the peaks and valleys of the tune, the way the tune runs, and we'll play against some music in a minute, will help you figure out if you want to use a different pattern. So you've done down, up, with a simple mute at the back. Let's mute up again, and we're going to do what I will call a double down, which is exactly what it sounds like. You're going to go down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. And that big down, down is unmuted. Sorry, forgot to do the second one. Anyone having trouble with that, or looks pretty good on the screen? Joan, try to think of it as down, down. Give yourself a moment to pause and then go up, down, right? Or, sorry, down, down, Sorry, this is the trick. Here's why you're having trouble with that. I should have explained it. Down, 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 up is what happens. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, down. Down, 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 down. And I'm doing the two big downs open and the others muted. Okay, so let's try alternating between those two patterns. Let's do 8 of the regular motor rhythm with the 2 down downs following it. So it will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down, 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 down. Let's do 4 of those. And then we go back to the regular motor rhythm. Now you'll notice I'm opening and muting faster than I did before. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down. Looked like everyone kind of had it going out there, yeah? Okay. All right, I'm going to take a momentary pause just to look at the questions here. Haha, what if you have boobs that get in the way? Larger drum is the first answer. Mine is a 15-inch. Some of the folks were asking about size. Mine is a 15 because it fits my frame very well. I don't have much that mutes my drum. 18-inch, oh, and I'll talk about the cross brace or lack thereof. 18-inch drums are good for people who have bigger frames, and they come in every size from 12 inches up to 20 inches, depending. So part of what you'll need to determine is if you have quite a lot, for women anyway, if you have quite a lot of muting factor going on, you'll need a very slightly larger drum so that less of, because as you have it up against your body, that little bit that's up against your body mutes the tone of the drum a little bit. So you'll need a slightly larger drum frame. And mine is 15, and you'll see, I saw when some of you turned your drums around, I saw a T-bar in the back, I saw a single bar in the back, and I saw crossbars in the back. Isn't that cool? All those different things. There are advantages and disadvantages to each of them. You will learn to work with the drum you've got. So the cross braces used to be used because people held them and didn't touch the head of the drum at all. They just played it all open all the time. Later, when people began to approach it more as a musical voice instrument, not just a call to arms kind of an instrument, they began to put their hand on the skin, and having the 4-cross one is a little harder than having a T-bar or a single bar or no bars in terms of moving around on the back of your drum. So if you have the crossbar one, the one that's an X, you want to hold it so that the cross is not this way, but so that it is an X this way, so that you are getting in through the largest wedge of the pie where it's comfortable for you, so that you're able to, behind that cross brace, move your hand around up against the skin. If you hold the drum as a vertical cross brace, you'll keep running into the bars all the time. So you need to use the pie slice, if you hadn't already worked that out for yourself. With the T-bars, the side that doesn't have the T bar in it is the side that you want to hold towards your shoulder, because then you're getting in from the largest side of the drum and able to move around. Again, it's about using the largest slice of the pie. If you only have the single bar on the back, then having it probably a little bit like, well, vertical might actually work best for you because it gives you free rein to get to the rest of the drum without running into the stick. If you start to turn it at all, you're like to run into it. So whichever slice of the pie entry allows you the largest room to roam on the back is how you'll position the drum. And if you have a bar with a shallow drum, you can push your hand up against, you can use that bar as a lever to push your hand on the skin, because the pitches of your drum happen when you essentially, relative to where you're striking the drum, right? Like I tend to hit the drum mostly in this range, sort of the 4 to 5 o'clock range of the drum. You can see from the spot on my drum that I am close to center, but in the 4 or 5 range. And when you are playing the drum, imagine that I am hitting it right here when I turn this around. When you play it open and you hit it in that spot, but then you apply pressure to the head and get closer to where you're hitting, or farther away from where you're hitting, you raise and lower the pitch of the drum for the voice. And so with the crossbars, you want to be able to move freely, but you can push against the crossbar to get the kind of leverage that I have to muscle. I have to make my own push against the skin because I don't have a crossbar to push with. But I have more freedom to move anywhere on the drum head because I don't have a crossbar in the way. So trade-offs for those of you who are playing. All right? Okay, so we have the 2 reel patterns, which is the open pattern, just the motor, and the down, 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 down. We're going to add to that. I want you to take, now you're going to take the stick and you're going to approach it almost from the side, if you will, right? And you want to just tap the drum head from the side. It's no longer moving down or up. It's just a little sideways tap, right? And again, remember to try to keep the tip down below the edge of your fulcrum. So it's just a little sideways tap, right? That tap, when you amplify it, becomes a pop. So we're going to use either a tap or a pop. And you make that pop, you make a little tiny cup with your hand up here by the top of the rim. So imagine that there's a little cup. My hand is cupped right here. When you do that tap stroke with some force right over that little cup, you get a very sharp pop. Like any spice, to be used sparingly, but we are going to use the pop in the next stroke. So if you were playing your motor stroke, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you wanted to do something different, you could go down, pop, up, 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 down, pop, pop. Raise your hand if you think you've got that. Like you're feeling it. Looks pretty good out there. I see some pops. So that tap, if you don't hit it as hard and you don't have your hand up in that one space, will be a little less. It'll be more polite, but that's the same pattern. It just doesn't sound like. So that pop, to be used sparingly, but that tap sound and the pop sound we'll use in some of the other patterns we'll learn tomorrow for slides and polkas and some other things. So now you have 3 real rhythms, and we're doing pretty well. We're only at about 420-ish. So now you have 3 different real rhythms. I'm going to teach you 1 more, and then we'll cycle through them, and then I will play some real music for us to play up against, so we can figure out what we want to like how we want to use each of those colors against the reel. So we have our basic. Which is just down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, but with the mute or the open. So open, closed, down, 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 up, down, up, 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 down, down. And then we're going to go down, pop, up, 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 down, pop. And go back to the motor rhythm. Open, closed, open, closed, open, closed, open, closed. That's just down, up, 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 down, up. Yeah? Okay. So now you have 4 different rhythms for that drum. And they're all for reels, so you can figure out what flavor you'd like to use for any given reel. So I'm going to, first I'm going to add in the chat, if it's still here, I tried to be ready to paste it, this address in the chat, and we'll make sure, Rowan, can you make sure that we hold on to that and put it in the chat at the end of the session too. It's a Google Drive folder where I have put all the rhythm sheets and videos of each one of these rhythms independently, and then also strung together as a class resource so that you can work through each one of these rhythms on your own and work with them after this weekend. So the reels are all there, and also on the class resource sheet, which I think currently says 2023, but I'll update it tonight. On the class resource sheet are a series of links to web pages that have the reels and jigs we'll be playing up against here in class, so that you can go back to the same places and listen to those tunes if you want to use those. Or you can get any CD you have out that you like to play with and play it and play along with it. The beauty of YouTube, though, is you can slow down the video or the audio to the speed you're able to play along with. So I'm going to try to bring up and do a sound check with you. Hopefully we won't get an ad right away. If I play this reel, can you hear that? It's okay, all right. So we're going to do the down, up stroke. 1, 2, 3. Down, up, open, close, open, close. Now it's going to turn the tune, so let's do down, down. Down, down. Down, down, up. And let's do down, pop. Down, pop. Down, pop. Up, down, down, pop. All right, let's stop there. Or I will try to stop him there. Hold on. All right. I know that probably was like, wah, for the first time for some of you. For others, I hope it was useful to revisit basic strokes. But did you notice that as the tune was changing, it has an A part that repeats a second time, and then there's the B section, which is a little different and repeats again. I asked you to change the rhythm you were using with the tune, because the tune itself asked for something a little different than the basic rhythm that we were doing each time, and it sort of marks for the listener as well. There's the A section and the B section. And then when we came back to the A section, I moved to the down pop rhythm to try to do something a little bit different with it too, to show you that when you have a palette of textures, colors, and rhythms, you can decide which one you want to use that you think most supports the music and the tune at any given moment. So right now you have 4 reel rhythms, and as you listen to any given reel, if the tune has a definitive ba-da-da-da-da-dum, you might want to do down, down, da-da-da-dum to match that piece. Or if it's going bum, 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 you might want to go down, pop, dee, 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 down, pop, dee, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. Your accents with the drum can lift and support some of the spiky pieces of the tune or the slippery slidey bits of the tune by not accenting something. If a tune is very smooth, you might want to stay not moving much, so that you only emphasize the top of the phrase with that open note. So you are the painter and you paint the accompaniment with your palette of rhythms, depending on what the tune calls for. And also if you're in a session with a guitar player, for example, who is running rhythms, you want to find a complementary rhythm so that the two of you aren't emphasizing other things than what the other one is, because it can very quickly create kind of a rhythmic mud at the bottom of the tune. And the last thing we want as accompanists is to get in the way of the melody. We want to support the melody and have a conversation with the melody player and the other accompanists with this rhythm that we're playing. So those 4 reel patterns, the straight basic motor rhythm, the double down, and the pop, I just realized I haven't taught you the 4th one. Here's your 4th pattern. I like to call it a gallop or a Quebecois one because it kind of mimics a horse's hooves, or it mimics the 3 pattern that the feet of the Quebecois fiddlers will do. So to play that one, you would be, so the pattern for that is down, down, up, 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 down, looking to see if you've got it. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And to mark the big down, I have it open, and then I'm muting it up a little bit in between. So it's down, down, up, down, down, up, down, open, closed, open, closed. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Yeah? It looks good out there. How's it sounding to you? Is it sounding okay? It's hard to tell from here. This is one of those moments I wish I could hear all of you, but Zoom would make mud for sure. Looked pretty good. Okay, so now you have 4 patterns. You have that regular motor rhythm. You have the down, down. You have the pop. And you have the gallop. It's not quite a gallop, but with all 4 of those, you can paint different kinds of reel tones under the reels. So we're going to, like I said, there are individual videos for each one of these rhythms in the class Google Drive folder, and there are rhythm sheets that have a little cheat which has the, I don't know if this will show or not, but things like the down, up pattern for individual rhythms, right? So you can go download that from the class folder and then you can work on these. So let me look at the time. All right, 4:35. So we're going to take the same approach for the jigs. Let me have a quick look for questions. When I mute, I find that I'm adding another beat. So if you are muting by putting your hand up against it very hard, you will have an extra sound there, which you can actually use as an effect, but I know that's not what you're trying to do. I mean, if we were playing a slip jig, that extra is from my hand, not from the stick. So if you are playing a reel or a jig and you're finding that you're making another note with the mute, it's probably because your knuckles and or your palm are striking the skin hard enough, right? It's an accidental artifact, so make sure, I know it's really hard at the beginning, Sometimes I put this drum under my non-dominant arm to remind myself just how hard this is at the beginning. It's really hard at the beginning not to make accidental noises up against the drum. You'll drag your knuckles on the back, or you'll find the stick dragging on the front a little bit. Just slow yourself down enough against a metronome to where you can play very cleanly, and be conscious of not adding an extra knock when you touch the drum or your knuckles touch the drum, so that you're getting to be very clean with your movement on the back, on the head, and also at the front of the drum. And when you find that you can play it very cleanly, then, as with every other kind of instrument, notch a metronome a little bit faster and get to the edge of your control again and work to clean it up there, and then get to the edge of your control again and work to clean it up there. And slowly but surely you will find that you're playing clean. Playing clean slow is the hardest thing ever. When you get faster, all that practice comes in handy at top speed, when the muscle memory will take over and you'll still be playing relatively clean there. So did that answer your question? Say the gallop rhythm again. Okay, can do. So the pattern for the gallop rhythm is down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. There's that little pause between the first big down and the second down, up, down, down, up, down. So down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And at the back, open, muted, open, muted, open, muted, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Does that help? Okay. Like I said, there are also, oh, thank you, Amelia. I see you also posted the class directory. There are videos for each one of these rhythms in the class resource folder, and then there is a video, slower and then at speed, practicing putting all four of the rhythms together. And then there's a resource sheet that has links to the individual sort of tune pages that I chose to try to use for class, so that we could have a little bit of music to play against. So I'm going to move us on to jigs, and at the end we'll come back around and we'll revisit jigs and reels. But the same principles you've been using for the reel, which is a clean stroke down and up, and an open tone to emphasize the downbeat, and muting the rest of your strokes to make a contrast between the pulse of the rhythm and the rest of the rhythm, we're going to do in the jigs. But with jigs, because we're not playing in 4/4, we're playing in 6/8, the pattern of the stick will reverse each time we pass, like from 1, 2, 3, which is going to be down, up, down. It goes up, down, up, and I know that just sounds like a continuation of the motor rhythm, but instead of emphasizing it straight, we're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we're going to emphasize the change, the rocking, the rashers and sausages feeling by opening and closing our hand against the skin. So we're going to go with the open hand, down, up, down, and then it reverses with the hand muted, up, down, 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 up. Because of the pause right now, it does not sound very jiggy, but I just want you to practice that. Up, down, up. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. When you put those together, you'll get down, up, 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 down. Rashers and sausages, rashers and sausages, rashers and sausages. So that is the motor stroke, the 6/8 motor stroke for a jig. And it really, when I say motor stroke, like it's the same down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up you were using with the 4, but it's slightly on a different time, and the emphasis with the downbeats is slightly different, so that we're distinguishing the 4/4 the real, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, from the rashers and sausages, rashers and sausages. It's all still down, up, it's the way you emphasize parts of the rhythm. And then, like with the last set of patterns, the 4 patterns, that motor stroke, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. You can begin to make variations by dropping out one of the strokes so that you have a slight gap. With the real rhythm, when we were going, we dropped by going, right? We did these down, downs with little spaces. With the jig pattern, down, up, down, up, down, up, we're going to change it so it's down, down, up, down, up, 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 down, down, up, down, up. So that's the double down for the jig. And to emphasize that on the back, it's open for the down, down, and closed on the other strokes. Down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. How's that feeling out there? Looks pretty good from here, yeah? Okay. Jigs come pretty easily for a lot of people, particularly that rhythm. The double down for the jig is like the most natural thing. It kind of just falls into your hands. So now you have a motor rhythm for a jig and a double down for a jig. The widest of the jigs, if you really wanted to make space, just drops 2 more notes and essentially is just down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. So all you've done is remove the connecting in between notes. When we were playing the whole motor rhythm, we were going down, 2, 3, up, 2, 3, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then we moved to the double down, 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 up, 2, 3, down, down, up, down, up. And then we moved to the widest of them all, which is just down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Looks pretty good. Easy, yeah? It's nice and wide, so it doesn't require a whole lot of fancy stuff, but it keeps the pulse. It's just a difference with more of the notes. Sometimes it becomes sort of like a steady flat line rhythm. With some of the notes dropped, there's more of a valley and peak feeling to the rhythms. It's a little bit more, if the tune is calling for something lifted, it's a little less plodding, right? But it does have a heavy step and a lift, The widest one almost feels like a march, right? Because it's so wide, it's almost like swing of the kilt, down, down, up, down, down, up. You could see people marching along with that, right? That's a very slow march, I know, but so that kind of wide thing is useful for clearing a little space and then bringing the motor rhythm back in. So any questions at the moment? I don't see any new questions. So we've got about 15 minutes left. I'm going to give you, let's see, we did the basic, we did the double down. It is annoying, but it is worth practicing your regular, that double down we did, down, down, up. It is worth practicing the opposite version, which is up, down, 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 up, down. And the reason it's worth it is because in no other moment are you probably going to practice clean upstrokes. And upstrokes come in very handy when you're playing fast things and you want to emphasize something and you just want a little never mind. Anyway, I can't think of a rhythm to play for you, but it comes in handy ever so often, and there's no other rhythm that makes you practice it quite like the up version of the double down, because it makes you isolate those upstrokes and makes them clean. So so you have your regular jig, your double down jig, your inverted double up jig, if you will, the wide jig, and then we did the pop rhythm for the reel, and I told you that you have the pop, which is the loud stroke, but if you just kind of tap it from the side without that same emphasis, you have a tap stroke. You could also do an actual marchy feeling kind of a jig, which would be like down, pop, up, tap, down, 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 down. So you can see the opens and closes. All right, that's a couple of different jig rhythms. I am going to put on some jig tunes in the back and we'll play along with some music. Oh, the difference between the pop and the tap. Good question. It's the same motion. It is a matter of velocity, a lot more speed and attack for the pop, and also the fact that you're making that little cup shape with your hand at the place where you are striking for the tap. If you politely tap the drum up here, you get a sound, right? Because this is the area that I have my little cup at. I have made a little cup out of my hand, and I'm putting that cup right up here by the edge of the drum where the rim is. If I just tap it, I do get a sound. I would call it a tap. It's that sideways motion, and you just kind of tap. It's neither a downstroke with emphasis or an upstroke with emphasis. It's just a little side tap. It's polite. But if I hit it hard, I get a real pop. A big aggressive noise as opposed to my polite tap. So it's really just a matter of attack. It's the amount of thrust and the amount of resonating chamber cavity that you keep where you hit it. And it takes a little practice to be moving between the bottom of the drum and the top of the drum for that. But this little exercise where you just do a big open note and then you look for that pop, and then you do a big open noise and you just tap it, will make it easier for you to have both on hand when you want them. And that marching rhythm that I showed you a second ago for the jig, which was down, pop, has a tap in the middle of it. Up, tap, down, down, pop. Up, tap, down, down, pop. That tap, though, is like connective tissue. It's not emphasized. It's an up, tap, up, tap, up, tap, as opposed to the down, pop, right? So you can hear the difference. And so it's good to have the down, pop, and also the up, tap. Up, tap, down, down, pop. 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 You guys got it out there? Mimicking? Yeah? It looks cool. I see a lot of good rhythm out there, and most of it looks like it's on. So it's hard to tell from all the little squares, but I absolutely love the fact that you're all coming to class with drums too, and that I see a couple of boxes out there too. So yay for coming, even if you don't have a drum. You can make rhythm on anything. It's the oldest instrument is this instrument. I see Amelia in our crowd, so the singers in the crowd. This is the oldest instrument, she says, somewhat biased because I'm a singer too. And the next oldest instrument is percussion of all forms. Whatever we could hit, strike, rattle, shake, you name it, right? So I am so glad to see percussionists here. As my friend Amelia likes to say, the finger instruments are beautiful. Fiddles, boxes, guitars, bazookies. And our job is to support what they're doing without getting in their way. And a bodhran can be a very present instrument. So be a polite bodhran player when you go to the sessions or you play with other people, and make sure that you mostly play with the drum muted at the beginning until they get to know you and they get to trust you and they get to trust your musical instincts. You know, kind of keep your hand on the back of that skin so that you're playing quietly. And then as you are invited into the session warmly, because it takes a little while sometimes, so just be honest about that, you can begin to unmute the drum, you know, in those emphasis strokes we're doing, so your rhythm can come through. But that also shows us that you are thinking about your drum musically, right? Not just as a loud instrument, but as another voice in the choir of the music that we're making together. So that's my short lecture on bodhran etiquette. Okay, let's see. I don't see any new questions, but let's play. Let me cue up. I hope it will not go straight to an ad. Let me cue up some jig music for us to play along with, and we'll use the first three jig rhythms, and I'll call them out so we can play along. Let's see if I actually get jigs and not ads, since I'm using... Can you hear that in the room? I know it's very slow, but we're going to do our motor stroke, which is the rashers and sausages, down, up, 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 down, up. Whoops, I've pulled my microphone straight out. You guys keep playing. And I will put my mic back in. All right. Down, up, 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 down, up. Let's do the down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And now let's go really wide. Let's go down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up. And now let's go back to the down, down, up, down, up. Down, down, up, down, up. And let's go back to the full motor stroke. Down, up, up, down, 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 up. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And back to the down, down, up, down, up. Sorry, it skipped on the audio. All right, I saw a lot of good motion out there. Hopefully that was a useful way to play it up against music, not just up against us, to have something as a reference point. I saw, yes, the recording will be made available at some point, and as I said, in the class resource folder are individual videos for each one of the rhythms, reels, jigs. Each of the patterns have their own video. And then there's a video where I string them all together. There's a slow version and a moderate and a faster version, so you can practice up against them. And then there's a class resource sheet. In addition to the rhythm sheet, which is there's also a class resource sheet, which has the patterns and also has links to places online where I found things you can play along with and suggested speeds to start with, and some recordings and places to find and buy drums, and even 2 videos about how to tape your drum if you want to do that to change the tone of your drum. I see quite a few taped, actually not that many taped drums out there. Most of them are untaped. And the short spiel on why most of the pros you see tape it is because what it does is it takes off the overtones of the drum that tend to ring near the edge of the skin, and it concentrates the tone of the drum around a single pitch. And if you are like me and you get seasick when it rings in a tone that is not quite in tune with what we're playing, I tend to tune my drum to D-ish. It's never D, but it's D-ish. So because most of our tunes go around in D, G, and A in large part in the session, and so it allows your open note to ring with a voice that is sympathetic to the main notes of the tune you're playing with. So that's what the taping does. All right, I see lots of folks out here, and we are at, where are we at? What time is it? 4:57. All right, let's review. We have, holding the stick, there is the carry stick, which is sort of a little above where the dead center weight is, so that you have a little more gravity on one side than the other. There is also, and it's holding it kind of like a pencil, right? There is the top end style, which is holding it a little farther up and making sure that all of the rest of the weight is below that and wiggling it to make your stroke, right? One or the other of those hopefully will feel very comfortable to you. They both have advantages and disadvantages, but find the grip that works for you, where you can hold onto the stick but be loose in the wrist and then be able to play. And make sure there's a little extra gravity on the downside, the bottom of the stick, because you don't ever want, while you're playing, the bottom end of the stick to get above that fulcrum point. Otherwise, you're working against your own, you're not letting gravity help you, and you're working extra hard, and you're likely to get into a position where you're perpendicular to the drum, and we don't want that. So when you're holding the drum, you want to make sure that the stick is not entirely parallel, but just a little bit out, say maybe 45 degrees or less from the drum when you're positioned to it, so that you're not playing way out this way, that far out from the drum. You're playing more like this. Then when you go to hit the drum, you want to work for a clean downstroke and a clean upstroke, right? Not the sliding sound, but the clean sound. Down, up. So do some exercises where you just go down, down, down. It's a good time to work on an open or muted sound, right? So you can do tonality, start building tonality into your playing early. Also work on your upstrokes, which are harder, which is why I recommend the reversed version of the jig, because it makes you work on those upstrokes too, so that you have both at your command. And then we have 4 basic real rhythms. So you have the I think I can motor stroke with all the notes filled in, all the 8th notes are filled in, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, with an emphasis just on the one at the top of it. And you had the double down stroke, which I don't think I said, so I will say it now. To do it, you have to anticipate the start of it. And we had the pop stroke where we went down, pop, up, 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 down, pop. And we also had the galloping stroke where we went down, down, up, 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 down. So those are your 4 real rhythms, and you can mix and match them depending on what the tune inspires you to say with your rhythms. Then we had our jigs. So we had the every note filled rashers and sausages rhythm. 1, 2, 3, up, 2, 3, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And we had the double down, 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 up, down, up, 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 down, down. And we had the up, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down. We did the wide version of the jig, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, which is the simplest of them all. And we did the down, pop, up, down, tap, hang on, down, pop, up, tap, down, pop, up, tap, down, pop, up, tap, down, pop. And I think I ended up doing down, down, pop, up, down, down, pop, up, down, pop, up, down, down, pop, which is slightly different than the first thing I gave you. So you actually kind of have 5 jig rhythms under your belt. And one last thing to work on, because as you're playing, you're going to find that sometimes the stick moves around a little bit. So it's a good exercise to just learn to be able to shuggle, to work your way backwards and forwards along the stick, to pass the stick up and down, so that you can readjust on the fly. Because tomorrow I will show you triplets, and I will show you carry triplets and top end style triplets, and they both require you to be in different places on the stick in terms of the fulcrum and balance of your stick. So being able to move back and forth along your capine is a useful thing. So it looks really weird spidering back and forth, but it's a useful skill to pick up, because if you can do it, then while you're playing, it's harder to do while playing, but you can sorry, not doing this very well. Clearly I need to practice. You can move back and forth when you're getting ready to do triplets and top end style triplets. So that, I think, brings us just a little past the top of the hour. Are there other questions in the, let's see, not finding the reference pages. I will, hang on, let me have a quick look. They should be there. Let me go have a look. So there are all the videos, and the reference page is kind of tucked into, at the very bottom there are PDFs that say 2023, it's really pretty much the same file, but I'll update it and swap it out. The 2024 Lark Camp Online Bodhran class PDF is the class resource list page that I will put up there. And it has in it all of the rhythms written out with the down, up note like words, and with underscores and emphases so that you can work with them. And it also has links to the web pages that we used for the audio, which Ben Hockenberry, props to him, the man who made those pages, he basically recorded the 20 most popular Irish session reels slowly on a banjo, and the 20 most popular Irish session jigs. So that page just moves from reel to reel to reel to reel if you want to do some steady practice. And like I said, YouTube allows you to adjust the tempo. So you can adjust it down if you need it to be slower, or up if you want it to be faster. And then, you know, it allows you to practice a specific kind of a rhythm for a long time. But it has a single instrument to play with, which also sometimes makes the melody very clear. And with the melody, then you can choose which rhythm you want to use. Let's see, what else? Aw, thank you everyone for the compliments. It's a lot to practice. I just wanted to make sure you had a selection of real rhythms and a selection of jig rhythms, because those are the most commonly played in the session. Tomorrow we'll review those very quickly, and we'll also go through slip jigs, probably slides, and polkas as an alternate set of rhythms, so that you have most of the major session rhythms. And we'll do triplets, so you can start to add embellishments to your playing. And we'll keep talking about the voice of the drum, the tonality of the drum. And I know it was extra hard. Hats off to all of you for trying to work with your left hand and your right hand at the same time. It would be easier just to only focus on the right hand. But if you build the song of the drum into your playing from the get-go, the voicing of the drum, which right now we're just doing open and closed, but I showed you, you can pitch that drum, right? You know, so you can do like, you know, da 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 da. You can pitch the drum and follow the melody. I mean, it won't be a note for note thing, but you can follow melodies. You can provide a contrast. Melody goes high, you go low. Melody goes low, you go high. You can be really big for a minute and draw back to a teeny tiny motor rhythm. And then when they get to the climax, you can add your own climax to what they're doing. So all depends on who you're playing with and what they like. But yeah, I wanted to leave you with a bunch of different resources. And yes, Amelia has put thank you in Irish in the chat for you. Gura mahagat. Gura milia mahagat, I guess would be, or mila mahagat, which would be 1,000 thanks to each of you for coming. We don't have to leave this space right now, so if you wanted to, and yes, please donate to Lark Traditional Arts. They make this possible all the time, and there are a bunch of amazing volunteers. So gura mila mahagat to all the volunteers, all the organizers, and of course all my students for being here. So we're at the dinner break, I think, so I don't have to go anywhere right now. So if you've got some other questions, we can certainly... And yes, I will be back at Lark Camp for the first time in 4 years this summer teaching Bodhran. Yay, Amelia! I heard you say in your class that you're going to be there too. Can't wait! Singing sessions coming! Ah! I don't know what the schedule will be. I have often been put first. First thing in the morning, which is a little painful given that I'm a night owl and I like to play until 4 in the morning. But there will be Bodhran classes, and I'll probably be doing beginning and intermediate. I usually do 2 classes, so I'll be at Lark this year. And Dawn, I see you too. Hello. Kisses. Kisses to all my old friends and new. And then are there any other... I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any questions. Did anyone have any other questions? No? Yes, your left arm will be surprisingly tired. This is a workout. Like, you're gonna build muscles. They don't show very well, but, you know, like, you're gonna build up muscles. It's, you know, it is quite physical. Actually, we're getting small enough here. If you want to unmute to ask questions, it's manageable now. But,